and I am gonna hand it over to Tonya to get things started. I don't know if you want to, if you need to share screen. I made you co-host. Yes, I did. Okay.
Yes. Welcome, everybody. I am so happy to have you here. Let's get this set up into presentation mode. Here we go. Can everybody see my screen okay?
Yep.
Yep, awesome. So, today we are talking about kind of the next frontier. AI, whether you like it or not, it's here to stay. It's the new personal computer. And what we're talking about today is how to make yourself findable in AI search. Because people are still searching Google, but more and more they're reaching to ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, asking questions. What's going on? And then by the end of this workshop, you're going to have actionable strategies in place to ensure that AI tools choose you when they're recommending creators, businesses, services, or content by using the visibility ecosystem we are going to talk about today. And that's going to give you an advantage because there are not a lot of people out there really jumping on this bandwagon yet. And being an early adopter is really going to give you an advantage. So, first of all, did you know that after 2 weeks, you remember about 10% of what you read? If you hear it, you remember about 20%. 30% of what you see, and 50% of what you see and hear. So you're watching a movie, you're watching a demonstration. 70% of what we say if we're participating in a discussion, and then 90% of what we say and do, aka simulating the real experience of doing the real thing. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to try to hit that 90% retention mark because this is not a webinar. This isn't, I don't know about you guys, but I hate those webinars where you get on and you hear people talk and they don't really tell you anything. And then they're like, oh, buy this product from me. That's not what this is. You are going to walk away today with a plan. We are taking action because that's what this is about. By the end of this workshop, you are going to have a measurable visibility goal that you can strive for. You are going to complete a visibility ecosystem audit of what you're working with right now. You're going to pick out what platform you're going to optimize first, and then you're going to build a 30-day artificial intelligence optimization roadmap so that you can start putting the puzzle pieces in place to get ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini to recommend you. Now, this whole idea started when I went to a leadership lab last year, and it was on hiring practices because I'm a business person, and SEO is my background. I do a lot of work in SEO, and I was talking to the owner of a bakery. Julia's Bakery is like the go-to bakery in my area. It's where everybody goes to get their cakes, wedding cakes, birthday cakes. And we started talking about AI. And he said that so many people were coming in now with pictures of cakes that they used ChatGPT to design. And he wanted to figure out how to show up when they ask the next obvious question. Who can make this cake for me? Where can I buy this cake that was just designed? And I had already been toying with the idea of this AI optimization, and this was like the nail in the coffin. I am doing this. I am going to definitely pursue this sort of education. And I worked with this guy. We kind of went back and forth on what he was trying to do, and I started figuring it out. Now, I am sure that you've seen the alphabet soup going around out there. SEO, AEO, GEO, LLMO. Type the one you saw most recently into the chat. Which of those have you seen come across most recently? Because I know it has been crazy. SEO, AEO. Yeah, that's right. So we're going to very quickly touch on what these are. There's another SEO. So SEO is the oldest of all of these, and it's the one you're probably most familiar with, search engine optimization. And basically, it's what you do to get people to find your website or your podcast on Google. Google, Bing, that sort of thing. And it uses keywords. We're focusing on keywords with SEO. AEO is what you do to show up in the AI overview. So when you type in my name into the AI overview or into Google, my AI overview comes up, although it is hilarious because there is apparently an actress from the 90s also named Tonya Lawson. So it's everything that I do with her picture. Fabulous. We're still working on that one. But this is what you do to get your business or your podcast to show up in the AI overview results. GEO is what you do for AI answer engines. So we're talking Google AI, ChatGPT, Perplexity. And then LLMO, this is large language optimization, large language model optimization. And this is what you do to make sure that when people are talking to ChatGPT, you are the one showing up. Now, each of these, you do different things, but where it crosses in the middle, they all have commonalities. And instead of trying to focus on SEO, AEO, GEO, LLMO, we are going to focus on the commonalities between all of them to get the majority of them to work for us. Let's see, Elizabeth said she had a company selling her on, I need you to do this now. I also require your approval to start GEO for the clinic, which will help us gain presence on AI platforms. Like, okay. Did you reach out to the company?
No.
Okay. It's overwhelming, right? All of the things. And here's the deal. It's not that hard. You have people who pay thousands and thousands of dollars a month to get companies to do this for them when you can be doing it yourself. So AIO is my terminology. Artificial Intelligence Optimization. And it's what you do it's the commonality between all of them that you do to start showing up. You're going to start optimizing your content so AI tools can understand you, they can trust you, and they can recommend you. Because it goes all the way back to old school marketing. They need to know, like, and trust you. And the same thing goes for AI engines. Now, AI does not rank based on keywords. It doesn't care about keywords at all. It ranks based on the meaning of the stuff you put out, the structure of all of your content, how clear it is, your consistency across platforms, any expertise signals that are being put out on your behalf, and then your ecosystem. So AI does not rank based on keywords, but it ranks based on other platforms that rank on keywords. So if Google is popping you up, AI is going to know that. And those keywords affect Google. So my point is keywords are not gone forever. Okay? So we're going to take a look at an example here. This is an example that I just typed into ChatGPT search. So recommend a podcast to help me learn about investing. And then this is what ChatGPT came back for me. I'm trying to move this bar out of the way so we can see. There we go. This is what it came back to me. It's giving me several recommendations, not just one. And the top recommendation is Boggleheads on Investing. And then it gave me a few others that were worth trying and why. And then do you see right here where it says Apple Podcast? That is a direct link to that podcast. So if you have a podcast out there, you want to be showing up here and you want that link to be going back to your podcast. If you're a podcast guest, You want to be showing up for whatever it is you do. So if you're a real estate agent in Miami, Florida, you want to be showing up there. And then you want this to be linking back to your website. Now, here's the thing though. If AI doesn't understand you, it can't recommend you. And that's where your visibility ecosystem comes into place. So, what we are working with here is an ecosystem that you need to be visible on. Now, you do not have to be visible on all of these platforms. And I know a lot of you guys already have podcasts, so you're already out here. You probably have a website. If your website doesn't have a blog, that's something you need to consider getting on there. You're probably already on social media. TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, whatever works for you, Instagram. If you have a podcast, you're probably putting it on YouTube, and if not, you should be. The podcast itself, and Pinterest if you're out there. But basically, AI engines search across the internet to find information on you. And the more places it finds you, the higher of importance it ranks you. And this is how you can really start outperforming your competition. Now, AI tools, they're the new Google. They're the new word of mouth. They're new blog directories. They're new recommendation engines. So you need to get your content on them so that it can recommend you. Now, like I said, here, you guys are early adopters because you're here. You're thinking about this now. And the early adopter advantage means there's less competition to get ranked right now. You can get faster traction, you can get preferential indexing, and that gives you a long-term visibility advantage. So I want you to think for a minute. Think about the early people on TikTok. They have millions of followers and are making a fortune. Think about the people who were the first on YouTube. Those people have their gold play buttons. They have millions of views. They are making a fortune. And it's because they were early adopters. They didn't hold back. I wish I had gotten on YouTube 10 years ago instead of just 2. So today we are going to build your roadmap together. So the first thing that we are going to do is define your measurable visibility goals. So, Julie, I put there should be a link that Julie's about to put in the chat. And this is a link to a Google Doc that is a workbook for you to work along with us today to make it easy on you. And it should have you make a copy, I think.
Yeah,
okay,
it did
good.
For me. Just click make a copy and it'll save to your Gmail, your Google Drive.
Your Google Drive. Awesome. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to define our measurable visibility goal. What is it that we want to start showing up for? So, examples. You're a photographer. I want AI tools to recommend me for luxury wedding photographer in Nashville, romantic outdoor wedding photography, editorial style wedding photographer for intimate weddings. You want to be specific, not just wedding photography, because those are a dime a dozen. You want to be very specific as to what it is you do. Then I want you to come up with 3 topics that you want AI to associate you with. So the examples I gave in the photography area is wedding photography, editorial and fine art wedding style, destination and intimate weddings. And then I want AI to know I solve these problems. So for the photographer, educating couple on styles, expectations, and how to choose with confidence. creating authentic, story-driven images that reflect who the couple actually is, and directing gently, creating a relaxed experience and helping couples feel at ease. Because nobody wants to be uncomfortable. No bride out there wants to be like, oh no, I'm going to look fat in my pictures. The photographer's going to make them feel comfortable. So I want you guys to pop into the chat. What do you want AI to recommend you for right now? What is it that you're trying to get recommended for? Launching indie podcasts for women entrepreneurs. I like it. Transformational life change and psychotherapy. Thinking differently about designing and planning events. Where to start is not what you think. Emotional and mental wellness. So all of these are great. That's what you want to get recommended for. And now you need to narrow that down. How do you want to be associated? Like, what are 3 specific topics that apply to you? So let's look at here. Transformational life change. What is the transformation? How is the life going to change? Thinking differently about designing and planning events. Okay, what kind of events? So start to really narrow down specifically what it is. Because this is a situation where being really broad is not the best thing. To get recommended, you want to be more narrow. There's time for broad later, don't worry. But I want you guys to be ruminating on these 3 things as we work through that, because this is one of the goals that you're going to set. Do we have any questions so far? We all good? And feel free to unmute and talk anytime you want to. You don't have to stay in the chat.
I think we're good.
All right, then we are going to move on. We are going to now go through your visibility ecosystem audit. So this is in the workbook. And this step is really important because AI doesn't recommend people who are just everywhere. It recommends people who are consistent, who are clear, and who are easy to understand. So before you start creating anything new, you need to take a look at what signals you are sending out right now. So the first thing I want you to do in this workbook is I want you to list out every platform that you are on right now. So podcast, your podcast, or if you are a guest, the podcast that you've guested on, that counts. Are you on Etsy, Gumroad, Shopify? Have you had guest features on blogs or in magazines? Have you been interviewed? Have you done any collaborations? Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, your website. If it exists online, it counts. Because AI engines read the internet. Okay, I like this. Instagram, Facebook, guest on podcast, articles. Yes, Elizabeth, you have a question.
Are you asking like a very broad visibility audit? Because like I have been featured as an expert author on articles on other platforms. So so that SendCare platform features me as the expert author. So, I mean, how detailed of this audit, like minutia, do you want us to go? Or is it like, I'm featured on other people's blogs?
You don't have to list them all out individually, but if it exists on the internet, then you exist there. So yeah, you are on a variety of different blogs and your name is mentioned. So that is, a variety of blogs could just be what you write down. You don't have to list every single individual one you're on. But the fact...
I could be here all day if you want me to list them individually. Or are you talking generalities? Because
Well,
the
and
way
I
my
get what
brain
you're
works,
saying.
I'm like, holy
Yeah.
crap, I'd be here all day typing away going, okay, I was 2 years ago, I was on this one, and
Right.
5 years ago.
No,
No.
I think it's more general buckets because, like, for me, for example, I've been on like 40 different podcasts as a guest, so I'm not going to list all of those. I'm going to note that that's one of the places that I could be recommended is from a guest episode.
I
If
like how
does
you
that
phrased that, Julie. The buckets. What are my buckets? What buckets am I in? Got it. Thank
Yes.
you.
Yes, and Elizabeth, the fact that you're out there on all those with your name, that's going to automatically give you an advantage because ChatGPT is already associating you with those and what you do. So that is wonderful. Books, newsletter, blogs, these are all great places to be. You guys are already ahead of the game. Now, the next thing I want you to do is I want you to highlight your strongest platform. And I want you to really think about this because it may not be what you think. You might be like, oh, my podcast, or oh, my YouTube channel, or oh, my website. But I want you to think, this is where you show up the most consistently. This is where your message feels the absolute clearest. And where people are already saying, hey, I found you through this platform. Hey, I saw you on Instagram. I discovered you on LinkedIn. Oh, I heard your podcast. Where are people finding you? Where do people already trust you? Where do you explain things really well? And where are you already answering questions? Because this platform, whatever it is usually where AI understands you the best. And go ahead and pop your platform in the chat. I'd love to see where you guys are. Oh, Google. Excellent, Kim. Excellent. That means you got SEO working.
And I just did a search of my name, and it was interesting that my business website was first, and then my LinkedIn profile was second. So I'm like, okay, I guess people are fun. And I have had people connect with me and come to events that they found through LinkedIn. So I just want to share that as a way to think about how are people finding you and where are people finding you more, because it is an interesting thing to think about. It's not necessarily Instagram where I hang out more. It's where people are finding me more.
Yes. So Kat, Facebook and LinkedIn, love that. And it doesn't have to be just one platform. We're going to narrow down to one to focus on, but people probably aren't finding you absolutely everywhere. And my guess is Instagram probably isn't going to be on anybody's list right now because Instagram is not doing a great job with business. Websites, LinkedIn, and podcast. Love that. Yeah, LinkedIn is somewhere where I have started making my presence known over the last few months. It's something I'm working on. Website and LinkedIn. I love the websites are here. That means you guys have some good SEO in place, and that makes my heart happy. Okay, now I want you to think about your weakest platform. Now, this platform is where you're inconsistent with your posting. I would say for me personally, LinkedIn would have been my weakest platform like 6 months ago. So you're inconsistent posting, or maybe you post off message. Maybe it's Instagram and you do a lot of personal stuff on there. You have a mix of random topics maybe. And it's optimized for posting. You're posting a lot, but you're not being understood. So ask yourself, where does my content feel really scattered right now? Oh, Julie, your podcast. You've been too busy helping other people with their podcasts. I can totally relate to that. Where would AI struggle to explain what it is I actually do? So if somebody looked at my Instagram right now, would they know what I do? And now I want to be very clear here. Weak does not mean bad. It does not mean that you're failing at these. It just means that they're not clear. Okay, we got some buckets that were in here. Oh, yeah. Lots of those. I like it, Elizabeth.
I love how you said it though, Tonya. It's not necessarily that we're not showing up there and doing things in a good way. It's just how clear is it? And I've noticed that some platforms I talk about too many things, so it's not as clear, right? And I think that happens a lot for me on Facebook because there's a lot of crossover between personal and business and podcasts. So that I like how you said that because it does make you think about things a little differently.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with it being your weak area. We're just identifying it. Okay, now I want you to identify where AI can understand you the most clearly. So I want you to circle or star platforms where your topics are just very clearly defined. This is what I do. Where your language is very specific, it's not vague. And where you have content that answers real questions, where there's actual context there. You're not just putting up captions. So, oh, Kat, you're finally getting more clear and consistent. Oh, that's great. Kim, your website is the clearest. Good, good. My website is something that I'm going to be overhauling this year. I'm a little like Julie. I've been working on other people's stuff instead of my own. Oh, yeah, you are the weakest link. Goodbye. I remember that. Yeah, that was great. The woman with the short blonde hair. Yeah, love that.
And I mean, my weakest link is LinkedIn, but I don't want to say goodbye to it. I want to I know that's where I want to put more time and effort.
So you want to double down on it.
Yeah. I love this audit because it's really making me think of clarity. Where do I want to get clear? And LinkedIn seems to be popping up for me right now.
Yeah, and that's where we are today. We are taking action. We are getting that clarity, and we are going to implement what we need to do to get there. So I want you to keep in mind as you do all of this, AI, it prefers depth, structure, and clarity. This is not about hustle. This is not about being everywhere at once like the hustle culture bros tell you need to do. I'm sorry. I am a 48-year-old menopausal woman. I don't have time for that. Okay? So this is what we're doing. Now, number 5, I want you to decide where you want to focus first. And you can only pick one platform. So we know Elizabeth is doubling down on LinkedIn. Okay? So I want everybody to put in the chat, what platform are you going to focus on first? I think we're still thinking here. Your website, Andrea. Okay. Your blogs, Julie. YouTube, Amy. Oh, I am doubling down on YouTube right now myself, so I can totally relate to that. So just your Facebook group and LinkedIn. Okay. Kat's stretching a little bit. She's gonna do too. Focused on LinkedIn and to increase connections and updating your website. Okay, good. Love these ideas. So we're starting to get clarity on what we need to do. And I want you to ask yourself, if I could improve clarity in this one place over the next 30 days, whether it be LinkedIn, your website, YouTube, what is going to make the biggest difference? And think about that as you decide what is going to make the difference from you, because are we all here to make money on our platforms? So what's going to hit the bottom line? Which platform is going to give AI the most context with the least effort? So, one platform, one focus, no overwhelm. So if you have 2, fine, great. Do one for 30 days and then focus on the next for 30 days. But don't pull your focus in different directions, because that is a recipe for mediocrity. Okay, we want to dive head on into one for 30 days, and then the next 30 days go into the next one. Okay. Now, this is the exact visibility ecosystem audit that I start all my clients with, whether they are in my mentorship program or one-on-one coaching, because it's so important to get clear on what it is that you're trying to do. And having that clarity means that you are prepared to take the next steps. Julie, you unmuted. Did you have something to say?
I think my Wi-Fi is a little in and out, so you're co-host, so we should be fine if I get booted out. At first I thought it was you that froze, but then I realized it was me. So, I'm good.
Okay. Elizabeth, question.
So, does AI care about the content being the same? So, if I post like a mini clip of something on my Insta and then I have a longer topic on my YouTube, and then I'm directing people with a blog that relates to what I have a video on YouTube. Does it care about that? Or can that be like that flow? Because if I want to focus in on LinkedIn, but I don't want to necessarily neglect my YouTube or my Insta, does that matter? Is it going to be like, oh, this is all the same stuff, so I'm not going to count it. If that makes sense.
Okay. So no, that is actually really smart. And what you're talking about there, I like to call that working smarter, not harder. Repurposing that content. Because here's the deal. You have different audiences in all those places. So that's going to reach your different audience members. But also, it is going to give you cohesive messaging across the multiple different platforms. So say you start with a blog post. Take that blog post and turn it into a couple of emails to your newsletter, but also you can turn it into a YouTube video. You can pull some short form clips from that YouTube video, which not related to this, but just bonus points if you have a YouTube channel. Pull those shorts from your YouTube video, put them up as shorts, and link back to your video with it. That is going to have cohesive messaging across all platforms and help AI understand you better. So that's a wonderful thing to be doing, Elizabeth. Definitely. And then you can also take that same blog post and pull a little clip out of it to add into your LinkedIn post. So maybe have the topic of the week, or maybe you do one every 2 weeks. Have a cohesive topic that's going out across multiple platforms. Yes, that is very, very helpful. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to optimize your About page. So your About page needs to answer the question, what you want to be known for, plus your name. So this is kind of the outline for your About page. What it is you want to be known for, plus your name. So if you're a web designer, the web designer's name, web designer for creative entrepreneurs. Julie, yours would be Julie Marty-Pearson, and you put exactly up here in the chat earlier. I'm looking for it. We've been active in this chat. I love it.
Podcast launch for indie women entrepreneurs.
Okay.
Combination of that.
So yeah,
maybe just entrepreneurs, because I do have male clients too.
Okay, so indie podcast,
launch
indie podcast, I'm trying to think about how to word it. So yeah. Julie Marty-Pearson, the podcast launch, the podcast launch specialist for indie entrepreneurs, something like that.
I like that.
Then your website, your URL for your About page needs to say what you do. So the example I have here is yourwebsite.com/webdesign for creative entrepreneurs. Podcast launch for indie entrepreneurs. So many people just go like TonyaLawson.com/about. That was fine back in the day. That is not going to work now. So you want that URL to say what it is you do. And it's the easiest thing in the world to change. All you have to do is go in and change your URL slug and then submit it for indexing. The page title itself needs to be, this is very important. So sticking with Julie, podcast launch for indie entrepreneurs / Julie Marty-Pearson. That's the title of your about page. Then your H1 tag. It's going to hit on the same thing. Do you understand what I mean when I say H1 tags? How are we on SEO here? I see thumbs up. Okay. So your H1 tag is going to say something, I help indie entrepreneurs launch podcasts that get downloads. And then have your opening paragraph also hit on specifically what it is you do. So this is going to be the structure for your About Me page. You also want to naturally include some variations, those long tail keywords that people would be searching. Oh, H1 isn't that type of flu. I love it. Yes. Fabulous. So the H1 tag, it's just a type of title tag that's in your website page builder. But you want to naturally include variations. So, Julie, this is where you can get in women podcasters, even though you work with men sometimes too, or launch a podcast that gets viewed or gets downloads, or launch a video podcast. That's another one to do in. So you want to say what you do in slightly different ways. So think about what people are actually searching for when they're looking for you. Then you also want to include who you help. So Julie, I'm rolling with Julie's example because it's relatable here. Indie podcasters. Okay, entrepreneurs, indie podcasts for entrepreneurs. So, who I work with, indie entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs who want to start an indie podcast. Maybe it's coaches who want to start a podcast. Female podcasters. Make sure your about page includes who it is you're helping. And then this is very important. Have a frequently asked questions section. Those frequently asked questions need to be the exact questions people are asking you, because chances are they're the same questions that they're asking ChatGPT and typing stuff in. So make sure that you include those and answer them. And the question itself needs to be an H3 tag. Not another version of the flu, just another type of heading on your website.
So, Tonya, I have a question. For the About Me, should we be replacing the About Me we already have, or should we be creating an additional page? Because, for me, the About Me is a little bit more about me, because that's literally, it's kind of like, oh, I should talk about myself here. But I don't talk as much about what I do there as, some of my previous experience. So, should I just go in and update my About Me page to kind of hit all these marks?
You certainly can. And it's not a bad idea, because I love you, Julie, but people don't care about you. They care about what you can do for them. It's about what's in it for me.
No, I think that's...
I know Julie, so I can pick on her a little bit like that.
But no, I think that's important to hear, because I do think, About Me, you think of it different, but really it's about your business and what you do for people in your business.
Yes. So people are not visiting your website to learn about you and your credentials. I mean, Elizabeth, in your case, your credentials are important, but they're there to see how you can help them. They're there to solve a problem for themselves. And that's what your About Me page needs to say. That's why we got rid of the whole /about and replaced it with what it is you do. Does that answer your question? Awesome. Any other questions while we're at it?
Well, I just put something in chat, which
is sorry. I didn't see it.
No, you didn't. I think that what you're sharing with us is setting up the schema to be picked up by chat. And so when you're writing this, Julie, it's not don't think of a person, don't think of Tonya reading your page. Think of the ChatGPT or Claude is returning this as an answer. So they're not necessarily going to, in that case, see the whole page or even know that there is a page. They're putting in who can help me. I don't know what the question would be. Who can help me launch my podcast? And it pops out. Julie Marty-Pearson has a group that teaches women how to launch a podcast and links to your website. Is that right, Tonya? Is that the reason we're
Yes,
doing this?
Amy,
Okay.
you
All right.
nailed it. You nailed it. This is all about setting up the schema. I'm not using the word schema because sometimes if you don't understand SEO, the eyes start glazing over when you say stuff
Julie,
like that.
yeah. Yeah, no, Julie knows this about me. I like lost my ever flipping mind about 6 months ago and was like, schema is what?
Yeah.
Well, and I do think the buzzwords make it hard, but the way you're explaining it and the way kind of Amy just summarized it really is it. You're not thinking about a person reading it. You're thinking about AI searches reading it and answering questions people are asking it.
100%. Miranda, what was your question?
Miranda, thank you. So where do we put what is about us versus what is about them? You know, what's in it for me? Is always the question. I get that, but isn't there somewhere they want to know what kind of experience and grounding we have that we're answering and fulfilling specifics that they're looking for?
It depends on what you do. So what do you do, Miranda? Miranda, sorry, I'm reading it wrong.
That's okay. I'm a master event design consultant, speaker, teacher, and author.
Yeah, they probably don't care. They are more concerned with how you can help them with their event planning.
Okay.
Or how now the people who are booking you, they might care. So in that place, I would have that in your media kit section. So if you're being booked to be a speaker, then that might be valid, in which that could go into your media kit area.
Okay, yeah, that's on my speaker page. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but as far as anybody who wants to learn more about event planning from you, they don't care. They just want to learn how to do it.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
Nope, nobody cares that I have a doctorate in clarinet performance. Okay, let's see. Elizabeth, you've got your hand up.
So what kind of fundamental or foundational web pages should we have, and what should we be tagging them as? If you're taking away the about me and you're replacing with the what can I do to what is my service that's going to help you, and I mean, I've got my homepage, I've got my about me, I've got my services and programs, I've got my frequently asked questions. But it sounds like, maybe I'm wrong, but what I'm hearing is like my foundational pages, like the top of the line, like navigation stuff. Maybe I'm mislabeling them, or maybe I don't have the right ones in place.
No, you're yes, you need those things up at the top of your page. So what I'm saying is, when you're going back here, this about me section, that about me at the top of your page can still be there, but this is how you structure the page itself. Now, obviously you're in medicine, so your credentials matter. So, for you can definitely still have that about me there at the top with your credentials. Just have another page like this on your website. It does not have to be in your navigation bar. AI can still read it if it's on your website. So, no, the menu title does not have to be the same thing as the slug. That is absolutely correct. Your URL slug can be completely different from the menu item.
That makes sense. So it can still say about me at the top, but the actual URL are the keywords we want AI to be searching for.
Yes, 100%. Does that answer everybody's questions?
Well, and it's kind of how you're structuring this. The about me page is almost like a summary. And then all those other pages are, if they get found in AI and someone goes to your site, then they're going to go to your services page or to your speaker page or whatever, right? We're trying to create the foundation to be found so that you get people to your website.
Yes, this is the overview that feeds AI. Then once you're recommended, AI will link back to your website and they can use your navigation bar to get where they need to go.
I mean, if I'm thinking of it structurally, it's almost like I need to make sure that I have my about me, and then underneath it, I need to have those other pages specifically listed there. This is my speaker page. This is my podcast page. This is my blog. These are the things so that when AI is searching to find like authorities that we want to be presented as, and they can see us, that we have like all these kind of trendles down below us.
Okay,
Our
yeah.
websites.
So you're overthinking this just a little bit.
Well, that's the way my brain works.
That's okay. That is okay.
Peek inside my brain, everyone.
Your brain has the right idea. It's just in the wrong location. So this About Me page feeds AI. All of those other signals, those credential signals, those are coming from the places that you're visible, not just your website. So those credentials, they're coming from the blogs that you've been mentioned in, the websites who are mentioning you, the podcast that you've been interviewed on. AI is not going to look. I could create a great website today that says that I am a medical doctor and I solve all these problems. That doesn't mean I am. So AI is looking for all the signals that are coming from other places to you. And it can be in the form of backlinks, but it can also just be in the form of mentions. You don't have to have an actual backlink anymore where you used to need to. So this page gives the overview, and then all of those credibility signals that you're talking about are very important. They're just coming from other places. Does that make sense? Awesome. That's why I said early on, it sounds like you guys, because your visibility is so broad coming from different places, you're already set up to be very successful in this. Okay. Well, we did that. Okay.
Let you know we have about 7 minutes left. Some of us may stay over, but I'm sure some people will have to leave right at the end.
Okay. So we're just going to say right here, have some blog posts on your website. There we go. Okay, so this is what you're going to do next. You are going to choose the first platform you're going to optimize for. We've already talked about it, so pick that one. And then you're going to build out your 30-day roadmap. And I've broken this down into small steps because it can be very overwhelming otherwise. So week 1, it's all about clarity. So that first week, I want you to update that about page like we just talked about. Identify your top 3 topics that you want to have on that page and then get your messaging clear. So week 1, we're just doing 1 page. Week 2, you're going to add in the too long didn't read stuff. So little tiny paragraphs. So go through any blog posts that you have on your website already and do just like a little bullet point summary at the top for the too long didn't read. Because I hate to break it to you, but people aren't going to read the whole article on your website anymore. We are in a different generation now, people skim. So you also want to have clear headings, little step list, and FAQ sections. This is all just good SEO in general, but it also applies to AIO. Then on week...
Sorry to just jump in. If you're adding like a little bullet points at the top, do you link to like the section in the blog post where you talk about it, or you just want the bullet points?
You don't have to, but you certainly can put a jump link in there. Yeah, that would not be a bad idea. You don't have to, but it's totally fine if you do. Then on week 3, you're going to update your schema. You're going to update any author pages on your website. You're going to add in breadcrumb navigation. Do we know what breadcrumb navigation is? Okay. I guarantee you do. You just didn't know it was called breadcrumb navigation. So this is breadcrumb navigation. So it basically shows how to navigate your website easy. So you're shopping, right? There's home. You're looking in electronics. You're looking at laptops. You want to go back to just the electronics, so you click on this. And this can be done using schema markup, like JSON stuff. There's different types here that are outlined, and this is going to be in the replay. But it's you just make it easier for them to navigate your website. That's it. You just popped a thought in my brain. If people don't tend to read and more people like audio, should we think about creating audio versions of our blogs? You certainly could. Or you could do a full podcast on it or a YouTube video on it and then insert it into the blog.
The audio version of a blog is called a podcast. So a lot of us are going from the podcast to a blog, to an email, to a newsletter. So we're kind of going the other way. So if you don't have a podcast, and even if you don't want to, like Tonya said, you could create it into like an audiogram or a YouTube video, or like Kat does interviews in her Facebook group. She could take those interviews and turn them into blogs on her website or turn them into LinkedIn articles. So you can go either way, but I love the way you're breaking it down because we want people to move around in our website, but we want to make it easy for them.
Yes, and that is exactly what breadcrumb navigation does. So we've got add the breadcrumbs, and then finally improve the metadata, because this is what AI is reading. So when we're talking metadata, we're talking the breadcrumbs we just talked about, any internal linking from one blog post to another, file names. File names are so important. So if you put an image in there, make sure the file name goes with what you want it to say. Don't have image 4572. Have the image labeled as example of a sales funnel. And then make sure that same image has alt text included. And alt text is simply the text that you enter with the image that would make it easy for someone who is visually impaired and using a screen reader to understand. So it could be something as simple as, this is an image, I'll use the sales funnel I just put in there. This is an image of a sales funnel. It is an upside down triangle, and it has text on it. The top part of the triangle is top of funnel. The middle part is middle of funnel. The bottom is bottom of funnel. So visually, just verbally describe it in the way you would explain it to someone who could not see it. File names are important on YouTube too. Yes. So make sure you put that in there. And then finally, week 4, you're going to align your messaging across all platforms. Make sure they're saying the same thing. Update your bios and update any older content to match the new clarity. So that's your roadmap that you're going to walk through. And then now it's time for me to tell you how I can help you. The little pitch at the end of it. I have a mentorship program called Search to Sales that helps connect discoverability to making money on autopilot. And freevisibilitycall.com/Julie. Basically, you can book a call. It is 100% free. Just like this workshop, you're going to go away with kind of a plan. Whether you decide that mentorship program is for you or not, you're going to get something out of it, because I don't waste people's time. And if this is not a good fit for you, I will tell you. I will be like, you know what? You are not there yet. You need to build up a few more things. Do this first and then come back. And anybody that is on this call or watching the replay Julie is sending out, if you book your free call and decide to join the mentorship program before the end of June, you will also get a free one-on-one call with me. And I don't always do this because the one-on-one calls are $500 each. I'll do a one-on-one call with you to help you get set up. Okay, so if this is something you want to really start taking to the next level, this could be a good opportunity for you. Because I know Julie has we met when she joined my creative SEO membership, which has evolved into this because it's so much more than SEO.
Yeah, and that was a couple of years ago, and I love that because it was like a membership that I could drop into, just like this community is for all of you. And, what I love about Tonya is she's always on the pulse of what's new. And so, yes, I could go back to that, but SEO has changed a lot since then. And I really appreciate because, not all of us are in a place to join another membership or anything right now, but the fact you're giving a free call, thank you so much. I know a lot of people will really appreciate that time with you to ask some more specific questions.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to open it up and let everybody, any questions you have for those of you that are still here. And also, Tonya, if you want to say anything else.
No, I mean, that's it. This will take you to a page explaining the mentorship program to you. And then at the bottom, just click one of the pink buttons. Either one will take you to book that free call. And it's no commitment and no pressure. No pressure whatsoever.
And I'll include the link in the follow-up email with the recording, and I'll also put the link in because I put these on YouTube, so it'll be in the YouTube recording as well.
Awesome. So does anybody have any questions? Yes, Amy.
So, my name is not uncommon. There are many, many, many Amy Stones, including a character in the movie Family Stone, which I was never able to get the domain Amy Stone. And there are other people like Amy Stone art. There's a couple of visual artists that have higher SEO, and I have just never fought with it. I've never made it my focus. I've always focused on the art of imperfect adulting, because it didn't seem like it was
as competitive.
Right. I mean, going up against Disney did not seem like it was even possible, honestly.
Right.
And there's a virologist that during COVID, I have a Google alert for my name, which is a very humbling thing because I get notified about other famous Amy Stones every day of my life. It's never me. There's a plant lady in Pennsylvania that is constantly being cited in newspapers, all these people. Anyway, the thing is is it something that I actually should maybe work on? Because it's always just kind of felt to me like if I'm going to boost that, it would really kind of be an actual PR campaign to get me editorial coverage in high authority places. But I don't know that I can do. I don't know if I am. I don't know if I'm worthy. A la Ted and Bill and Ted.
Well, one, you're totally worthy, but two, no, you don't need to pursue getting Amy Stone ranked because nobody's out there searching for Amy Stone. Nobody's out there searking for Tonya Lawson.
That's the reason. Okay, that's the reason I did, because when you popped up, I was like, that's not so unique, and I was like, maybe I'm misreading, but okay, I was always like, nobody's necessarily looking for my name, and if you do Amy Stone and the Art of Imperfect Adulting, that does come up.
Yes.
Yeah.
So people are out there searching for what it is you do.
Right.
Okay. So on the Art of Imperfect Adulting, what is something that you help people with?
Okay, so I'm a weird example because that's an entertainment product. It's like an interview show that is so it's like stories of transformation about career change, about lifestyle, midlife change, about, reposition. It's a lot of things. It hits for career change, relationship status change, divorce, widow, and other lifestyle things. But there's not what do? I entertain people.
That's awesome. That's awesome. But people might find you by podcast about career change.
Yes, that's the yeah.
So that's what you're wanting to target.
Yeah.
That's what you're wanting to target. So even if your podcast is simply entertainment.
Yeah. And that's why I have those 8 categories that are exactly that, like self-development, relationship, career, money. There's 8. I don't have so.
And I was going to say 2 things. First, I just searched Art of Imperfect Adulting on Google, and all your sites came up. But then below that was Amy Says So website. So that's still getting pulled up. And then also what I noticed when I just put my name in Google is one of the top 5 or 6 links is the story of my pet podcast, because that
Yeah.
podcast has been around and my name is associated with it. So I get what you're saying, but I also
Yeah.
think what Tonya is really helping us with is the keywords people are searching for are going to find us. They're not going to be searching for our
Well,
name.
and that's why I was curious about it, because like I had like that had been the decision I had made over the past 10 years over and over again, but I wanted to check in because like you said, she's on the pulse of it, and I was like, okay, is it something that I should? I mean, I'm never gonna outrank Family Stone the movie. Like and when what's her name died, Diane Keaton, it was like I got Google alerts 10 times a day about the character name for that movie. I was like, this is so funny. It's like totally never ever, like it's just so funny. Anyway.
No, I love that. I think that's a good question, and people listening will appreciate it, because I think that is hard. Because, like, my business webpage is Julie Marty-Pearson, but that's not what people are searching for, right? So I think it is an important clarification to think about, especially as we're going in and updating some of these things.
Yes, absolutely.
Anybody else have any other questions or comments they want to share? I think we're all a little sensory brain overload thinking about the work.
It is a lot, I know.
And whether you do a call or go into her mastermind, maybe in a month or two, we can have Tonya come back and maybe do a part 2, and maybe we'll have more questions to ask her, something like that. Like, once we do this 30-day roadmap, then where do we go from there, right?
Absolutely. I would be happy to.
And definitely check out Tonya's podcast, because
Yes.
she does a lot of great episodes and YouTube videos on stuff just like this, step by step, how to do it, how to update it. So that is a wealth of information for you. And I will include the link to her podcast, which I was just on a couple weeks ago, in the follow-up email.
I was
Yes,
going to
and
say, I don't know her podcast.
it's called Plan Like a Boss.
Plan
And
like-
then also my YouTube channel, I break things down. And my YouTube handle is just dr.Tonya Lawson, Dr. Tonya Lawson.
And I'm going to grab her
And then
podcast,
I'll
because
throw one more question in if you'll let me, Julie.
Absolutely, go ahead.
Okay, so I post the images that I post in the articles for my show. I have always like, so I do the file name for my YouTube videos with a keyword first. Everything else is like my taxonomy of like show nomenclature. Like it's like TAI. It's like the acronym for the show, the episode number, the guest name, because it's how I sort things and find them, so that, if I ever need to find it again, I can find it. Is it worth it for me to go back and like, no, I'm never going to do that. I don't even know why I'm asking that question. Even if you said yes, I'm probably never, ever going to do that.
You
But
have the guest name on there, right?
I do the first initial and the last name of the guest. So Julie was J. I think Julie was JMP, actually. So that's a terrible example, but you would be T Lawson. So if you were episode 255, you would be TAOIA 255 T Lawson, and then whatever type of file it was. So like YT would be your YouTube.
Okay,
graphic.
so I wouldn't go back and change 200 things
Right.
at all. But going forward, maybe include the entire name.
Okay.
And if you use the little acronym at the beginning of everything,
Yeah.
maybe just pop that in somewhere on, like, that abbreviation somewhere on the show's website.
Oh, okay.
So-
you know what? Because it's not. Although I will say, chat does know it, because it will come. It always wants to like offer it to me, and I'm like, that's not the name. That's the shortcut, Claude.
Yeah, so I would go ahead and just
Okay,
kind of
so
pop that
teach it.
in.
Yeah.
Teach it. Absolutely. And then make sure that those images have alt text.
They do all have alt text, because I've been in the game long enough to know that if somebody is sight impaired and they're using the readers, it like speaks it to them.
Yes.
So you only have to have that. You'll have to see that happen once before you're like, oh, that should be different. Okay.
Yeah, and what I found is you have to be careful if you ask Claude to help you with that, because
Yeah.
I had kind of set up Claude to help me with Pinterest pins for each of my episodes. And I was very interested in the way it did alt text, because it's not the way I've done it where I'm describing the images and what you would see if you were looking at it. It was like using my name and what the topic was. So it was a different kind. And I thought, am I doing it wrong or is he doing it wrong?
So I do. I mean, I do have a shortcut for it because I have so much content. But it's like, so image, horizontal image of XYZ, and then I just use the meta text for the article. So whatever that 140 50 words is. So I mean, mine's not great, but like if it says what it is, and it has the 10 keywords or whatever's in there.
Yeah. Okay, I know we've gone over a little. Anybody else, any comments or questions before we wrap up?
No, I took a lot of notes. I got to decipher them.
Okay. And I will get the recording out to you this point. It may not get tonight, but for sure you'll get it by first thing in the morning with the recording link and all the other links we shared. And I know I made a note of when to go back and hear how you said a few things as you were using me as an example. I'm like, I got to go back and listen to that again. So first, I just want to say, Tonya, thank you so much. You brought a wealth of knowledge and action steps for us, and I so appreciate you being here in the community and sharing it with all of that. And I will make sure everybody gets all your links so they can check out your podcast and reach out if they want some additional support.
Awesome.
So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. It's been so fun chatting with you guys.
Thank
you. Thank you all for hanging out over time. I appreciate it. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me or to Tonya. We're happy to answer. Have a great rest of your now evening, everybody. Bye.
Bye.